Greetings, scholars, parents, and staff. Welcome to Term 1, Week 3. Our teachers have been working very hard this week to prepare for our Parent Information Night. It's a night where normally parents would come in and teachers would present to them the way their class runs and the things that our scholars are going to learn this year. In order to be more COVID safe, the teachers realize that they can deliver this information to you most safely online. So the Parent Information Night is still going ahead, but it will go ahead on a Google Meet link. You'll be getting more information about that if you haven't already. Parents, we do look forward to seeing you so you can better understand how our schools and our classrooms run. It's one of the very important ways that we partner with you. Last week we talked about birthday books, and some of you got some letters home with an opportunity to donate a book. Here are some of the books that came in this week. We continue to focus on what it means to be healthy scholars, parents, and staff. In week 1, we talked about lunches that make our bodies strong. In the second week, we talked about being safe online and on the internet. This week, we're talking about how to keep our skin safe from damage.
It is important to wear hats so you don't get sunburned.
We wear a hat so you can't get sunburned.
It's important to wear a hat so we don't get sunburned.
It's important to wear a hat so you don't get in trouble by the teachers, also to make sure you're safe.
It's important to wear a hat because if you don't have a hat, you can't play and they'll be sad.
You know that it's important to wear a hat, but because you're scholars, I think it's important that you know why. It's not just because of a sunburn. Here's what scientists will say are the reasons.
Scientists use special cameras that show us where the sunscreen is on somebody's face and where somebody's face is getting the direct sunlight. The direct sunlight has special rays called ultraviolet or UV rays that we can't see with our eyes, but that hurt our skin. And even if we don't get sunburnt, those rays still hurt our skin. And the damage that the sun can cause to our skin is the worst in our first 20 years of life. So you might not see a sunburn now, but you might see some damage on your skin later. You can ask your parents and your teachers more about that. We wear hats during the school day even if we've worn sunscreen. Pause this video to talk to your teacher about this graph, and you'll understand why it's so important to wear hats during our school day hours.
We don't want to be sun smart just because our parents tell us we have to, or because our teachers tell us we have to. We want to be sun smart because the scientists tell us it's better for our bodies. So as a school, as we focus on being sun smart or sun safe, teachers will be watching to see if you're wearing your hats all during recess, whether you're in the shade or even if you're running and it's hard to keep your hat on your head. If we find that you're taking off your hats to run around or otherwise not wearing hats, the teachers will ask you to walk around with them for the rest of recess. It doesn't mean you're in trouble. It means that we want to keep you safe. As you're walking around with the teacher, we'll make sure that your hat can stay on, and you may even become friends with the teacher that you're walking around with. I know you scholars are very observant, and I think you may have seen some new faces around school recently. I'd like to introduce you to them. First, we have Mrs. Buchanan. When you see Mrs. Buchanan, ask her about water skiing and netball. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Harper. When you see Mrs. Harper, her favorite topic of conversation is her daughter. She just turned 1 year old. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Joel, who works in technology. And when you see Joel, you might want to ask him about his lizard. And finally, I'd like to introduce you to Pastor Dave. And when you see Pastor Dave, you might ask him about his motorcycles that he used to ride in the fields. Last week, some of you asked me how Smudge was doing, and thank you for that. I'll share with you one of his favorite activities over the summer.
Crazy. I'm
And as always, remember,
Everyone can be a student, but live in school with scholars.